In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Today is the second Sunday of the month of Baba, the second Sunday in the second month of the Coptic year. And the summary of the readings for this whole month talks about Christ as the master of our life. Christ as the master of our life. Last week we read the paralyzed man miracle, how Christ have authority over sickness. And today we see Christ have authority over nature and over souls as well. And the next week we'll see how Christ have authority over even the devil when he healed the blind, mute, and possessed man. And in the last week of the month of Baba, we will see how Christ have authority over life itself, how he is raising the son of the widow of Nain as the prince and the master of life. This is just a nutshell of the readings of the month of Baba in a summary. Today we read about catching the fish miracle, and we all know the miracle. But I'd like to look at the miracle from different angle, so we can get more of this miracle and how God look at things in a much broader view than ours. We look only to the part that concerns us, but we need to look at it from how God looks at it, and that should help us understand how he thinks. We might not understand exactly how he thinks, but at least gives us an idea. So Peter and his friends were spent all night trying to catch fish, but they hadn't caught anything. And in the morning, they have rituals that they have to do. You know, it's their work includes that they have to, they cast the net and they wait overnight to see if it catches any fish, and then they keep pulling the net and then throwing it back. And this process actually might cause the net to some tears to the net and some unclean stuff to be stuck to the net. So in the morning, when they can actually see, they go and net the net or sew the net, put it back together so it will catch fish the next day when they go fish again. And they have to remove all the unclean stuff that stuck to the net. And this process takes time. While they were doing this, they can see on the shore Christ was teaching the multitude, but it was getting crowded and crowded. And Christ couldn't teach any longer because people were just too close to him. So if you look at the design of the church, we always leave a space so the people can actually see. If the altar is right here, most likely those in the back will not be able to see. So you always have to leave a distance for you to be able to follow the teacher. So Christ asked them, "Can I use your boats to teach from?" And they said yes. And he used their boats and asked them to sail in a little bit to the water to take a distance from the multitude so they can all see and hear him. And he taught, God knows for how long, an hour, 2 hours. We don't know how long he took to finish his sermon. But after he was done, he looked at Peter and his friends. There were 2 boats. He asked them to go sail deep and throw their nets so they can catch fish. So Peter told him what happened overnight, that they spent all night but they didn't catch anything. But if you say so, I will do so. And he threw the net, and he caught a lot of fish. And Peter, realizing that this man is not just any man, and this order was heavenly order to throw the net, he realizing that he told him, "Lord, I'm not worthy of your presence in my boat. Depart from me. I'm not worthy of your presence. You are a holy man, I am not. You are a prophet, you're someone who listened." He didn't fully understand that Christ was the Son of God at that moment, but he looked at him as a holy man. And I'm not holy, I'm a sinner, I'm a sinful man, depart from me. So Christ told him, do not be afraid. I will make you a fisher of men from this day on. And this was the calling of Peter. But I want to, this is just a summary of the miracle, of how it happened. And what Peter said. They were working all night and they were doing their job the proper way. If they were not, they would have not been so frustrated. They did what they were supposed to do. They did what they were supposed to do. They did everything, but they caught nothing. That's why they were frustrated. That's why when Christ asked Peter to go deep and cast your net, he's like, I've done everything. Like, I believe that St. Peter was telling him, he could have taken this, by the way, offensively, because Christ is not a fisherman. He's not professional. Peter is, but he didn't. He was sad that he didn't catch any fish, because that's how they make their income. He was not. He was not offended or anything. Another thing, he listened to him. He had a little bit of objection that they spent all night and they did all what they did, but in the same sentence, he agreed to what Christ asked him. And Christ didn't blame him for that. He didn't say anything to that. He just waited for the issue of the frustration to be removed. So the complete frustration turns to a real joy. The frustration was caused because I have done everything I can and got nothing. I got nothing. And I'm sure everyone here today can relate to this. Many situations where we do everything in our power to get what we need to go or need to achieve something, but the results at the end are zero. Nothing happens. And that is just, it's annoying. It's annoying, frustrating, and it's depressing, and it's saddening, and you name it, whatever, depending on your personality. It is. And God does not dismiss our feelings. He does not dismiss our feelings. He understands and acknowledges them. That's why us as human, we will be very unthoughtful when we dismiss other people's feelings. We cannot dismiss their feelings. If someone is frustrated or depressed or sad, you cannot just come to him with a big smile from ear to ears, like, oh, be happy, it's no big deal. No, you cannot say that. Your intentions are good, but your approach is wrong. Or when someone loses a dear friend or like a family member, like they die, and we go to them, it's like, oh, don't be sad, they're in a much better place now, don't be sad. I cannot tell them not to be sad. They have to be sad. And sometimes we don't find even anything to say. We're just being there next to them is all what they need, even without saying a word. We don't have to say a thing. Just be there. Tell them that you're praying for them and pray for them. Be there physically and spiritually and pray for them. Christ did not answer Peter when Peter said that. He just let him, because he knew that Peter will throw the net anyway. When Christ asked them to sail deep, we said that they were not offended. But let's reverse the story and look at it from a different what-if question. What if Peter and his friends caught fish that night? The scenario would have been a little different, right? They would have been most likely, while Christ is teaching, they are busy sorting the fish, fixing the net, and doing their job, right? If they caught fish, the story would not have gone the same. If they caught fish, most likely they would not have listened to the sermon, and most likely if Christ asked them, can I use your boat, they would have simply told him, no, we are busy. They would have said that, and nobody would ever blame them. And by the way, even in the story that we tell now, if Christ asked them to use their boat, based on their frustration, they could have said, no, I don't want you to come to my boat right now. I didn't catch any fish, so no, I'm not going to help you. Why should I help you? And again, nobody would have blamed them. But in both cases, like the actual story, they did not say no. They still allow Christ to use their boat. And even the what if scenario بقى عشان ما تهوش مني. If they caught fish, most likely they would not have been available to listen and to see how Christ works. What seems to us as failure, what we consider as failure, is just the foundation of success. What seems to us to be failure is the foundation of success. Only if we let Christ come in, if we allow Him to come in. We allow Him to come in and to be in our boats and to use our few talents that we have, He will turn this failure into success. So someone might ask, why didn't you just order the fish to jump in the boat? Why did they have to throw the net in the boat? And we have seen actually with no miracle, some kind of fish, they actually jump out of the water and just it flies in the air and sometimes it gets in the boat. I've seen a video like that. Why Christ didn't order something like this? Why did you ask them to cast their net again to the water? In the gospel that we read in the Vespers yesterday, there was a kind of a strange story where the people who collect the taxes came to Peter and asked him, is your master going to pay the taxes or no? They collect a specific amount of money. So Peter went to Christ and was about to ask him. Christ told him, so they ask you about the money, right? And he told him to go and catch a fish and open the gut of the fish, and he will find the coin, and he pays it for him, for Christ and Peter, taxes. And by the way, the word taxes is not accurate translation. The actual word is gizya, and there is no translation for that word. Gizya is the difference between taxes are collected from the citizens of the country. Taxes are collected of the citizens of the country, but gizya are collected from what's considered to be the occupied people, like they are not first-grade citizens. Like, you remember how England used to occupy Egypt? Egypt used to pay money to England. That's not considered taxes. Taxes are taken from the British people, not from the Egyptian people. What's taken from the Egyptian people is called gizya. All right? So in this situation, it was not taxes, it was actual gizya. Because Christ and Peter they both were not Roman citizens. But he said, so we will not cause them to stumble, because al-gizya is taken only from those who are slaves or considered second-grade citizens. But for us not to stumble them or to cause them to stumble, go and catch the fish and open its guts and give the coin for you, or for me and for you. So if you are able to do such a great miracle, why don't you just make the money appear? Can't you do that? He can. But the point is, if he cannot or can or cannot, he wants to give us a chance to serve with him. He wants to give Peter the chance to go and cast the net and catch the fish. So Peter will get the credit. But who actually has all the credit? Christ. It's the same thing that we tell Sunday school teachers, and we tell the servants, and we tell abunas, and we tell everyone. It's not our work. If the church is flourishing, we are just some agents who are entrusted with His work, and the blessings is all His. It's not our work. He is the one that works. Through His grace, blessings happen, miracles happen. Not because of the man is good or bad. That's not the point. The man participates with the work or with God to get blessings. You are the one who gain. Like when some people come, servants specifically, and say, Abuna, I don't want to serve. It's getting a little too much for me. I'm tired of service and I just need to take a break. I cannot give more than this. Like, okay, Well, you can take a break, that's fine. We don't want to burn anyone. But the approach, sometimes when they come and talk like this, do they understand that the service, actually, they're not giving, they're taking? And that's a very important aspect. When I serve the Lord, I am actually the one who is receiving. I'm not the one who's giving. I'm receiving the grace with all the blessings that comes with it. I'm not the one who's actually giving my effort and no. Guess what? Your time will pass anyway. It will pass if you serve, it will pass if you don't serve. So it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to use your time. Another thing, when Peter told Christ, depart from my boat because I'm a sinner or I'm a sinful man, this is us when we get in touch with the grace of the Lord. When we get in touch with the grace of the Lord and see how much He loves us, and we see how much we as human deserve love, we are in amazement. We can't believe how good He is to us and how much He loves us. So we have nothing, and this is the experience, when someone says, that was a humbling experience. When we experience the true love of Christ, this is a humbling experience, because as a human being, as a sinner man, I am not worthy of His love. I am not worthy of His love. But because He is a good God, He loves me that much. So it really humbles us when we get in touch with His grace and His love. The devil always tries to convince us that we are worthless. Worthless. However, we should always tell, we are unworthy, but He decided to love us. That's a big difference. The one last thing I want to focus on is when Christ asked Simon Peter to go deep. Go deep? Yeah, go deep. When he caught that the plenty of fish, he bowed in front of the Lord and he asked Him to depart from him. And that's one thing that teaches us a good lesson. Simon Peter was not blinded by the plenty or the multitude of fish that he caught. He was not blinded by this. He still went to the source of the blessings and he bowed down and he thanked Him. And when he asked Him to depart from him, it doesn't mean that he does not want Christ to leave him. No, definitely not. It's too much blessing that he considered himself unworthy of, because he's a sinner man. And this is a very important lesson. Let not the blessings of the Lord that He pours over our heads every day blind us. Let it not blind us to look at the source of the blessings. Because sometimes we are so happy with the blessings, but we forget to thank that one who actually sent us these blessings. We think, we got this because I'm just good at what I do. Okay? You're good at what you do, and that's true. But there is a lot of good people at what they do, and they don't get that many blessings. Those who give God the credit are humble, and you always find them saying, thank you, Lord, for everything. Simon Peter today teaches us, bow down in front of the Lord and tell Him, thank you for your blessings. Do not let the blessings of the Lord blind us from thanking the Lord Himself. To Him is glory forever and ever. Amen.